I got a problem with good and evil. Too vague. Doesn't carry any freight. I mean, how do you know when somebody's evil? Why, his father's the devil. Every time we have one of them father-son luncheons, the guy tries to buy my soul. Well, that might do it. But unless you have demon DNA, I mean, how can you tell if someone's evil? I think the same problem with good. He's really good, except, well, he cheats on his wife and on his taxes. And she's really good, except she kind of neglects her kids, they're dirty, unironed clothes and stuff. We call kids good and bad, sometimes the same kid. What we mean is they're either doing what we want them to do or just the opposite. Now, is the guy who kills 20 people in the street evil? Well, if he does it because the voices in his head tell him they're space aliens, he's not evil, he's just crazy. If they're the same 20 guys who murdered his wife and kids, he's just getting revenge. If he's wearing a military uniform, he might just be following orders. And if they're a member of another tribe and he takes them home and cooks them for dinner, he's not evil, he's just a cannibal trying to keep his extended family fed. Besides, good and evil are fixed labels. They don't allow for change, nor do they specify the degree of goodness or evilness. He has in his brain 27.5 grams of evil and only 12.3 grams of good. Nah, that won't do. I propose a new way to talk about this. One that can be quantified and is subject to periodic adjustment, can be put on a scale of 1 to 100. After all, we all believe that people can change. Anyway, I call my new system the asshole theory. In short, it says that anyone can be rated by what percent asshole he or she is. And since no one is totally perfect and no one's a complete asshole, 0 and 100% aren't possible. Therefore, everybody falls between 1 and 99% asshole. Now, social scientists can start to develop criteria and test and rate anyone in the world. I think the best way to illustrate this is with extreme examples. Well, let's take Gandhi, for instance. Now, everybody assumes that he was some kind of a saint, and I'll give him that. However, he chose to live his life like his people, like a peasant, even though he was a lawyer and could live much better. That was fine for him. It was his choice. But what about his poor wife? I can just imagine her saying, "Mohan, these Indian summers are so hot. Can't we get air conditioning? I'd like a new washer and dryer. Maybe some new clothes and some nice diamond earrings." So he put himself and his personal vision first, ignoring the needs of his faithful wife. It isn't terrible, but it's got to cost him. Say what? 2 to 4% asshole? Let's take the opposite example, Hitler. He's often referred to as the personification of evil. Maybe not. I hear he loved dogs, and anyone who loves dogs can't be all bad. He was also pretty nice to his mistress. So he did have some redeeming qualities. So what? Maybe 95 to 98% asshole? Now, most of us are somewhere between these two guys. Being as objective as possible, I've tried to rate myself. Now, at 21 years old, I was probably 60+% asshole. Girlfriend's breaking up with me, pissing off my friends, my boss is calling me a lazy jerk, but I have improved with age. I sincerely believe at this point I'm somewhere below 40% asshole, and I am a work in progress. Maybe we can all be honest with ourselves. Assign ourselves a number and then work on lowering it, sort of like what we do with our cholesterol. We can also use this globally. Now, I think we all agree that Osama bin Laden has a very high asshole rating, but what about our president? Some would rate him very high, some would rate him a lot lower, but I doubt even his immediate family would rate him, and his close friends would rate him much below 20%. Now, until scientists come up with a better criterion, I suggest you rate your own asshole percentage with my simple test. Decide what portion of my theory you disagree with, and that's exactly the percent asshole you are. See how simple it is? Thank you.